Hi everyone and welcome to Carol Nash Inside Bikes, and we've been riding this, which is the new Fantic Caballero 700 Scrambler. If you haven't heard of Fantic before, they've got heritage in off-road bikes from sort of the late 60s all the way through to the 80s, and then they made a resurgence about sort of 6 years ago, and they brought out bikes like the Caballero. Now in the Caballero range there's a 125, there's a 500, and then there's a new 700 Scrambler, which is what we've been riding today. And as you can see, it's sort of a retro sort of Scrambler style naked machine. When you look at the bike, it has that sort of retro Scrambler feel, so that sort of evokes maybe some sort of feeling that it'll be quite mellow, quite soft, nice for some cruising down to sort of some A roads and some B roads, quite chilled out. But actually when we jumped on it, it was almost totally the opposite. So as you can see, it's a sort of a retro style Scrambler, which sort of fits in with the likes of Ducati's Scrambler 800 and Triumph Scrambler 900, and even the Moto Marini's new 6.5 SCR that they've recently bought out. So it's priced at £1 under £9,700, which is cheaper than both the Ducati and the Triumph, but a little bit more expensive than the Moto Marini equivalent. But at the heart of this bike is the same Yamaha CP2 motor that they use in the MT-07, which is a cracking engine. And it's got premium components on it as well. So it's got Marzocchi forks, it's got Brembo 4-piston radial calipers, 3 different riding modes, 3.5-inch TFT display. Just the whole package looks spot on. So before we jumped on this, obviously looking at it, it's a retro sort of Scrambler style bike, and we thought it's going to be quite chilled out, it's going to be quite soft, quite mellow, quite enjoyable to ride, but just quite relaxed. But actually it's the total opposite. So those Marzocchi forks are not adjustable, but they're really quite stiff. The Marzocchi rear shock, it's got preload adjustment, but we haven't had to play around with that, but again that was quite stiff. Really well balanced, so on the twisting B roads it was really enjoyable to ride, but it felt like a sporty naked bike, and I sort of had to remind myself I was on a Scrambler that looks kind of like an old school Scrambler should. Coupled with that motor, which is a really enjoyable motor to ride and really sort of goad you into going a bit faster and having some fun. It was a real surprise. It was quite a stiff ride. It was, like I say, like a sporty naked ride if you like. And then you've got those really cool looking twin pipes at the top, and the noise they make just when you open it up from sort of anywhere in the rev range, really it just goads you into going faster. We haven't had time to take it off-road, but actually the more we rode it and the sort of how stiff we felt it was, and there's 150mm suspension travel front and rear, so there's not that much travel, so we haven't taken it off-road. But actually riding it, I don't think you really want to take it any more than sort of a light gravel lane. Yes, it's got the Pirelli STR Scorpion rally tyres on, which are great for the road and also are capable off-road, but I don't think you'd really want to use it that much off-road. When we stood up just to have a play around just to see what the standing up position would be like on it. Again, the bars are quite low, so the riding position wasn't quite right again for doing any sort of green laning. So although the looks are there, I don't think you'd want to take it off-road all that much. Some of the other features I really liked about it are these sort of twist mirrors. Again, nice if you are doing a bit of green laning and you want to tuck them in, you can, or doing a bit of filtering. That was a really nice touch. The 3.5-inch TFT display, really nice retro looking sort of all-round circular display. Although it's not that big, it displayed everything you needed to see sort of really clearly. Really easy to sort of sift through rider modes and menus and to sort of display speed and all the stuff you need to see, which was really nice. As I mentioned, it comes in at £1 under £9,700, which is right in between where the Ducati, it's below the Ducati and the Triumph, but above the Moto Marini. And for that you get 3 different rider modes. Got switchable traction control and ABS, and one of those modes is customized as well, so you can have a play around with what setup you like. It hasn't got an up-down quick shifter. I know the Ducati's got that, but it hasn't got adjustable front suspension. The setup as it comes is pretty much as it is. The rev counter on it was quite laggy. Not that makes too much of a difference, but it was quite a lag depending on what you're doing in the throttle. It didn't really keep up. The switch gear feels a little bit on the cheaper side. Worked absolutely fine, intuitive to use, but again it sort of felt a little bit on the cheaper side. But overall it's a really nice looking package, really nice feeling bike. I absolutely loved riding it on the twisty B roads we've been riding it on today. Took it on the motorway for a little bit just to see how it performed at sort of, you know, national speed limit speeds. Sitting at 70 all day long, absolutely fine, so no problem there. So if you sort of were looking at one of these kind of bikes and wanted to put a little bit of luggage on and go do a bit of touring, I think it'd be absolutely fine for that if you stuck around the 70-mile-an-hour mark. 2 up as well. Again, I mentioned that sort of stiff setup. I think having 2 up and a bit of luggage would cope absolutely fine with that. So if you are looking for a naked bike that has decent performance but has a little bit sort of different design and different style about it, then the new Fantic Caballero 700 Scrambler is really something you should be looking at. It performed fantastically on the road. It's a really nice machine to ride, and to look at it, looks absolutely fantastic. These are our first ride impressions, but we'll write up a full review on the Carol Nash Inside Bikes website, so don't forget to check that out when that's live. But hopefully you've enjoyed that video, found that useful, and if you have, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.